All right.
Okay.
Another post game podcast episode. Um, oh man, they had just two errors now instead of three. Wait a minute. Major beat the Tigers 7-0. Um, yeah, Javier Baez does not have 8 errors. But he has 7.
Huh. Bad enough.
Yeah, I thought he had 8, and yeah, I thought he had 8.
Yeah.
Went 1 for 3, but still not great. Uh, one man left on base, still hitting 192. Nonetheless, a major disappointment in
Yes.
a free agent signing acquisition by Alavila. This is a guy whom the Tigers took over Carlos Correa.
Correa.
How fucking stupid is Alavila?
Well, I could be crude, but I'll leave that to you. I'm not gonna. But you know how it is. I mean that was a mistake right there, and that could be the biggest blunder of the year so far.
Definitely not the first.
Oh no, it won't be the last either.
No, and Chris Sillage still kisses up to him. The entire Illich family still kisses up to him.
Dumbass.
Yep. AI Alavila is a dumbass. So is Chris Illich. Javier Baez is total shit. And he has a 526 OPS, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs, 198 at bats. In 52 games played. I mean, the Tigers have now dropped to 24-40. The Royals are 21-41. The Tigers are starting to sink back down to that AL Central basement.
Here we go again.
Yeah, this is a 7-year rebuild. God damn it.
That's not a rebuild. That's a disaster.
Yeah. More like a mess. This is not even a rebuild at all. Good idea. Good point.
Yeah, it's a shit fest.
Yeah. Yeah, shit fest is right. So, yeah. Then we got Victor Reyes, 1 for 4, 306 average. Harold Castro starting to sink as well, 0 for 4, 285 average. Willie Castro, 2 for 4, 257 average, still hanging around that 250 batting average mark. Miguel Cabrera, already aging, 1 for 3, 294 average, still lingering around close to 300. Cody Clemens pinch hitting, apparently because the Tigers already waved the white flag, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Like I mentioned, Javier Baez, 1 for 3, 192 average.
Yeah.
Robbie Grossman, 0 for 3 with a strikeout, 191. Jonathan Scope, 0 for 3 with a strikeout, 189. Spencer Torkelson, 0 for 3, 178. Tucker Barnhart, 0 for 3, 227. The other error that the Tigers committed, Will Vest, a throwing error. So yeah, another shit night for the defense. So yeah, the Tigers play tomorrow at 4:10. Riley Green is gonna make his major league debut. Yeah, Riley Green. So this is this is just the same old story.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Tigers. It's just getting even older and older and older and older and older and older. It never even fucking changes. Yeah. Austin Meadows had the night off. So apparently he did not play. Victor Reyes in right, Willie Castro in center field, Robbie Grossman in left. Yeah. Austin Meadows, players need nights off, but and the entire offense stinks, but that's why you need Austin Meadows to at least provide you at least a little bit of offense, because he has not been too bad of a signing, except he got injured. I know Javier Baez was injured once before this year with Detroit already, and we're already just past the middle of June. This is now the time for Riley Green to step up. Just the Tigers are probably just calling up giving everyone their major league debut just to get experience. They're not even trying to contend.
No.
Take Cody Clemens, for example. It took like 30 fucking at bats for Cody Clemens to finally get his major league hit, which was a single to right field. That was either last week or earlier this week or whatever. I think it was last week. But Riley Green, his debut in the major league level with the Tigers, 4:10 tomorrow. Let's see here. Ronnie Garcia, 0-2, 5.06 ERA against Hearn with a 5.37 ERA. Yeah, CJ Cron with a 486-foot home run blast. Taylor Hearn, 4-4, 5.37 ERA, 168 WHIP for the Texas Rangers. If the Tigers' offense doesn't take advantage of that, well, that would explain just how very shit they are.
Yes.
How very shit it is. So, and then on Father's Day at 1:40, Drew Hutchinson, 0-4, 4.58 ERA against Dunning. 1-4, 4.04 ERA. Yeah. The Tigers are 24-40. The Texas Rangers are 31-33. They're getting close to the 500 mark. So, yeah, that's about it that I have for the Detroit Tigers. But before we shifted to your national sports report,
yes,
got a little bit of Michigan Wolverines men's basketball news and a little Detroit Lions news, which isn't really too important. What the fuck? This is messed up. Okay. Duke transferred Joey Baker commits to the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan.rivals.com. Joey Baker, what position does he play? A wing. It was a forward. Jason Jordan of Sports Illustrated on Twitter tweeted on Twitter at Jason Jordan SI tweeted, breaking, former Duke wing Joey Baker will transfer to Michigan for next season. 1 year of eligibility as a grad transfer. Why Michigan? Felt it provided the best opportunity to make an impact on a championship caliber team. Felt Coach Howard could maximize his total game. So that tells you the story there. And just tweeted it on our Twitter handle at Michigan_truth. On the podcast handle on Twitter at Michigan_truth. And you can follow our show, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, on Twitter and Instagram at Michigan_truth, and like it on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. And there's Josette Davis chiming in, saying, "Hey, babe." And then we got the Lions formally announcing changes to their front office. They're probably just switching things up. Player personnel updates. Lance Newmark will be Senior Director of Player Personnel. If you put the TV on mute, that'd be nice too.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Hudspeth, Assistant Director of College Scouting. Joe Kelleher, Assistant Director of Pro Scouting. Ademi Smith, a scout. Football operations updates. Mike Disner, Chief Operating Officer, COO. Brandon Sosna, the Senior Director of Football Administration. Gina Newell, Senior Director of Football Operations. Jesse Giambra, Manager of Team Operations and Head Coach Administration. That is about it. Oh. Yep, that's the same. Then they got the same list again. And that's it for that list. And that is all that I have for today. Yeah, former Ranger, also a former Red Wing, Sean Avery, found guilty on an attempted criminal mischief charge. Which was yesterday. Barry Trotz, one of the possibilities for a Red Wing head coach is likely to join the Predators front office, according to ProHockeyRumors.com. So Steve Yzerman is running out of options.
And running out of time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So again, Riley Green, making his debut tomorrow at 4:10, Tigers and Rangers. So with all that being said, it's time for Lewis's National Sports Report. Lewis, kick things off, please.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Shut this. Okay.
All right.
It's your turn. Yep. Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. All right, baseball fans, here we go. In the top of the 10th, the Phillies just took the lead over the Nationals 8-6 with a run on first. There's being some change made here. We'll get to that in a minute. In the top of the 7th, the Astros are just beating up on the White Sox 13-3. Starek is pitching and Zavala is at bat. Getting into the bottom of the 6th, it's the Rockies that are leading the Padres 8-4. Jock Diaz and Blackman are due up. Bottom of the 2nd, the Royals leading the Athletics 2-0. 2 outs with the runner on first. Lynch is pitching, and Bride is at bat. Bottom of the third, the D-backs lead the Twins 3-2. 2 outs, nobody on. Smeltzer is pitching, and Luplow is at bat. Top of the second, the Mariners lead the Angels 1-0. 2 out, nobody on. Ray is pitching, and Lagares is at bat. Going into the bottom of the second, it's scoreless between the Gargoyles and the Dodgers. You call them the Guardians. Turner, Bellinger, and Taylor are due up. All the rest are finals. The Phillies over the Nationals 5-3. Suarez got the win. Adon got the loss, and Hand got the save. The Cubs over the Braves 1-0. That winning streak is over. Martin got the win. Minter got the loss, and Robertson got the save.
Cubs losing streak is over too.
Yeah, but Braves had 14 in a row on a win streak. Oh boy.
Yeah, same time.
Orioles over the Rays 1-0. Bautista got the win. Fetcher got the loss, and Lopez got the save.
All things have to come to an end, you know.
Yes, I know. Brewers over the Reds 5-4. That trash heap continues. Lauer got the win. Delwater got the loss, and Baumsiger got the save. The Reds is a dumpster fire. Giants over the Padres 2-0. Rodin got the win. Thompson got the loss, and Duvall got the save. Yankees keep pouring it on. 12-3 over the goofy Blue Jays. Montgomery got the win. Stripling got the loss. The Mets over the Marlins 10-4. That just went final. Just a second here while my computer loads up. Loads up. Okay, it's continuing on. And like I said, the Cardinals over the Red Sox 6-5. Waka got the win, and Wainwright got the loss. Okay. By the way, for the Yankees, and the Rangers over the Tigers, 7-0. Gray got the win, and
Scooble
got the loss.
Second straight rough outing by Tarek Scooble. I forgot to mention.
Also, all right. So looking ahead to tomorrow's schedule, it goes like this. Starting off with the Braves versus the Cubs at 2:20. The Yankees take on the Blue Jays at 3:07. The Giants take on the Pirates at 4:05. Also 4:05. The Rays take on the Orioles. 4:07. The Royals take on the A's. The White Sox take on the Astros at 4:10. Also 4:10 are the following: the Marlins versus the Mets. The Brewers take on the Reds. Rangers take on the Tigers. And the Angels take on the Mariners. At 4:35, the Phillies will take on the Nationals. 7:15 on Fox. Guardians take on the Dodgers. The Cardinals take on the Red Sox. 9:10, the Padres take on the Rockies. And a pair of 10-10 games, the Angels take on the Mariners. I think that's a doubleheader. Yes, a doubleheader. Mm-hmm. And the Twins take on the D-backs at 10-10. Yeah, we seem to get a lot of doubleheaders lately because of all the rainouts and whatnot. I'm not surprised though. All right, so we'll check the standings now, and they go like this. Second for it to load up here. Oh, by the way, for college baseball fans, at the end of the ninth, Notre Dame Beat Texas 7-3. And OU beat Texas A&M 13-5. As we are now heading towards the College World Series. Okay, the final rounds, that is, now be like next week. Okay, so to the American League. Yankees now 48-16. Have 11-game lead over the Blue Jays at 37-27. The Rays 35-29, 13 back. Red Sox 35-30, 13.5 back, and the Orioles in the basement again, 20 back at 29-37. To the Central, the Twins 37-28. The Guardians, not bad, 2 back at 32-27. The White Sox, well, fairly decent, 30-31, 5 games back, respectable. Further down the list are the Tigers at 24-40, 12.5 back, and the Royals 21-41, 14.5 back. Yuck. To the West, the Astros, or as I call them, the Cheaters, 39-24. Sorry. Rangers, 31-33, 8.5 back. Angels, 30-35, 10 back. Mariners, 28-36, 11.5 back. And the A's, 22-43, 18 back. Oh, dear. Okay, and what's getting interesting in this race for the National League East, the Mets, 43-23, have a 5.5 game lead with the Braves, who lost tonight at 37-28. Come on, Braves, let's go. Phillies, 34-31, 8.5 back. Marlins, 28-34, 13 back. And the Nationals, 23-44, 20.5 back. My co-host is not happy about that at all. In the Central, the Cardinals, 37-29, have a 1-game lead over the Brewers at 36-30. Further down the list are the Pirates at 25-38, 10.5 back. The Cubs, 24-40, 12 back. And the Reds, 23-41, 13 back. To the West, the Padres are still in front, 41-24, a half-game lead over the Dodgers at 39-23. Wow. Giants, 36-27, 4 back. D-backs, 30-35, 11 back, but still an improvement from last year. And the Rockies, 27-37, 13.5 back. They really are an improvement from last year, because last year I don't think they even had even 15 games won at this point. So you can't really argue that they're – I mean, don't get me wrong. They still suck, but they don't suck as they did last year.
Right.
I mean, last year the D-backs, were the biggest embarrassment in the league, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't – I mean, they're still bad, don't get me wrong, but, there's bad and there's just, completely awful.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. I don't even think I've ever seen the Yankees that bad, to be honest with you. All right, so here we go. I'm going to turn to MLS soccer for those of you of special interest. I do mean special interest. No games were played today, but there's a whole slew of games tomorrow, and it goes like this. The Seattle Sounders will take on the LAFC at 3 o'clock. That game was on ABC. LA Galaxy takes on Portland. That's at 5. My Red Bulls take on Toronto at 7. Montreal takes on Atlanta at 7:30. Also 7:30 games are Columbus. Columbus and Charlotte. Orlando versus Houston. Philadelphia versus Cincinnati. Chicago versus DC at 8. Dallas takes on Vancouver at 9. And Salt Lake takes on San Jose at 9:30. And remember, folks, all games are Eastern time. Just to let you know that. All right, so on to today's news. In just a moment here, just let me clear this up. Okay, here we go. Came across something a little bit just a few minutes ago. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, who is a complete moron, says he's not sure on whether to reinstate Joe Quenneville for next season. I don't know how that would be. Something I have to address with him directly. Bettman said today on the ESPN program, The Point. Quenneville resigned as head coach of the Panthers last October, the Florida Panthers, after investigation revealed how the Blackhawks mishandled the former player Kyle Beach was sexually abused by an assistant coach in 2010. Quenneville was head coach of the team that year and won the Stanley Cup. The resignation comes after an owners' meeting in New York with the commissioner, who said that all parties agreed that Quenneville should no longer serve as head coach of the team. Well, now, Bettman told Jeremy Schaap Quenneville had expressed a general desire to return to the league, though not a specific job opening. The commissioner made it clear that Quenneville let the game down with his actions. Okay. Former governor of Tennessee, Bill Haslam, will become the new owner of the Nashville Yahoos. Do call them the Predators. An NHL source told ESPN today. Sportco reported yesterday that Howland's brother Jimmy, who owns the Browns, was nearing a deal to purchase the Predators. The franchise's current ownership group, led by Hubert French, but includes no fewer than 17 others. 17. What do you do with all of them? The Predators were expected to announce more details this afternoon. I did not receive any official word from that yet, though. Haslam is not taking over the team right away. Instead, he will gradually purchase shares from French over the next 3 years to become the new group leader. Haslam has served as the governor of Tennessee from 2011 to 2019 and is worth $2.3 billion in assets, while the Predators are worth about only a measly $600 million. Okay, for you golf lovers out there, I got some good news and I got some bad news about Phil Mickelson. First, I'll give you the good. He had a better shooting day, 3 over par at 73 in the second round of the U.S. Open. Now the bad, it was not enough to make the cut as he finished 11 over par as he finished the 36th hole. He was tied for 143rd out of 156 players. Okay. Mickelson was playing for the first time on U.S. soil since mid-January at the Farmers Insurance Open, where he also missed the cut. He is one of 17 players that have been suspended by the PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan by playing in the newly formed LIV Golf Series that was held in London last week. Mickelson plans to play in the first LIV tournament to be played in the States June 30th to July 2nd at Pumpkin Ridge in Oregon. The tournament includes no cuts and carries a purse of $25 million. Or they say what was the purse? $25 million. Okay. Oof. In the wake of the loss to the Warriors in last night's finale, the Celtics said there is a bright future ahead, and it's just a sign of the beginning of things to come. It's tough, Marcus Smart said after the loss to the Warriors, but it's one of those things where we went through hell to get here, and you take that. You know what I'm saying? We got used to that. It's going to be tough. That's what I know for myself. In viewing and looking at all the stuff we had to get through just to get even in this situation, the Celtics won their first 3 elimination games in the playoffs. Were not able to make it forward this time as the series long issues offensively reared its ugly head. And believe me, that was ugly. The Celtics had 22 turnovers in Game 6 alone last night. Tatum had 1,000 takeaways in the postseason, had 5 turnovers by himself alone last night. And you cannot win a game that way by committing 5 turnovers by yourself and 22 turnovers overall. Forget it. All right. New York Rangers give forward Sammy Ballas a 1-year contract extension after he missed most of the season with a lower body injury. General manager and former player Chris Drury announced the agreement today without releasing any details. Gee, you'd think we should have right to know this, you know. Ballas skated in 14 games this season and had only 4 assists before being sidelined on November 14th. He has 133 goals in his career between the Rangers and the Blues, and won a Stanley Cup title with the Blues in 2019 over the Vegas Golden Knights. The surprise of the year. All right. Well, as you probably are aware, sports fans, every time a team wins a championship, they always set the odds for next year, even though it sounds a little bit premature. But the NBA top predictions for next year are already out. And the Warriors, just coming up the championship last night, our favorites will win again. The Warriors are open up with 5-1 odds, according to Caesars, followed by the Nets and Celtics both with 6-1 odds. Where have I heard that one before? The Bucks are listed now at 15-2, and the Suns and Clippers are 8-1. Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, Jalen Brunson, James Harden, and DeAndre Ayton are the free agents that could screw up the whole thing this offseason as they become free agents. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But for now, the Warriors are still the favorites as they have their core players who are all under contract and already have at least one big bet as well. Caesars Sportsbook placed a $10,000 bet on the Warriors to win all next season, thanks to a bettor from Colorado that was placed last month. Assistant Director of Trading Adam Pullen said, "I believe this is more wide open than it has in previous years. Usually with the NBA, you can count on a title contender title contenders on one hand. Here you go at 10 teams that make a legitimate case to win it all next season." Aha. All right, and as the Warriors clock tick down, the Warriors, Stephen Curry crouched down on the baseline, placing his hands in his heads. The Warriors now have 4 titles in the last 8 seasons alone, which is now considered a dynasty. The moment the emotions sank in after winning a title is not new for Curry, Green, and Thompson, but this one felt different. This was different because of the 3 years of baggage we carried coming out of that Game 6 nightmare in 2019, Curry said. I can say it now, I don't know how many teams can carry that as long as we did, with the expectations of comparing us to teams of the past and making it back to the top of the mountain. The Warriors got their first title win since 2018 and became the first team to go from the league's worst record to a winning title in just a 3-year span. They were a league worst 15-50 in the pandemic season of 2019 and 2020. The Game 6 of the 2019 was a crushing blow to the Warriors, as that was the night that also Klay Thompson went down, tearing his ACL. At the same time last year, Thompson was starting to run again after he tore his right Achilles in 2020. Okay. But after Game 6 of this year's, would not leave without the trophy presentation stage. Curry had 34 points on 12 for 21 shooting, including 6 for 12 from 3-point range, and finally got the finals MVP. It's about time. And Klay Thompson finished with 12 points. Yeah. Give time where time is due.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. A couple of mishaps happened at the OTAs so far this past week. The NFL fines Washington Commanders coach Ron Rivera $100,000 and docked the team's OTAs practices for 2023 for conducting excessive contact during sprinting drills, according to ESPN. The Players Association reviewed practice video on both June 1st and 8th per request to the Commanders and the League Management Council. It felt the practices were in violation of the CBA's agreements prohibition live contact. The council, after reviewing the practice agreed. The NFL former general manager Martin Mayhew via a letter about the penalties.
Oh, that's a name. Yeah. That's a name. Former Detroit Lions general manager.
Yeah, I know. The letter stated the team does this give to gain a competitive advantage, so it's nothing new. The Commanders, who finished spring workouts yesterday, declined to comment. Oh, what a shock that is. Declined to comment. Mm-hmm. Very sad story in the world of auto racing, so to speak. Former NASCAR driver Clint Boyer struck and killed a pedestrian on a highway in southeastern Missouri earlier this month, as said by police. The crash occurred on June 5th on an exit ramp of US 54 near Osage Beach, Missouri, according to the crash report by the Ozark police. Bauer stopped immediately after the collision and called 911. The victim was identified as 47-year-old woman named Mary Jane Simmons, who died at the scene. The crash report said that Bauer had no signs of being impaired and provided a roadside blood test that showed no signs of alcohol. A substance was found, though, in the woman's belongings at a wrecked vehicle park where she was staying, and residents believed she was under the influence of drugs. Bauer retired in 2020, won 10 Cup races, and became a Fox analyst for their auto racing coverage after his race days ended. What a shame. Yeah, it's just too bad. Oh, by the way, before we get Game 2 tomorrow night of the Stanley Cup Final, Avalanche versus the Lightning, as the Avalanche take a 1-0 lead in the series. I don't know about the rest of you all, but I think I see a sweep here.
A sweep? I don't know. I wouldn't count out the defending champion.
Don't take my word for it, but the Avalanche is too strong. I mean, they're a scoring machine here, and Tampa's got to find a way to stop those guys. Otherwise, this is going to be a very short series.
Well, I say never count out the defending champion, Cup champion Lightning. They actually still might win a couple games and still lose to the Avalanche. You just never know what's going to happen. I don't call it a sweep by either team.
I could be wrong, but we'll see. Okay, well, Mets add another injury to the list. Right-handed pitcher Tyler Miguel left his start early last night against the Brewers after he felt discomfort in the latest setback for the second-year pitcher. 1 inning later, the Brewers suffered a potential blow as left-hander Aaron Ashley left with tightness in his forearm and left, though, only as a precaution. Miguel came up the injured list last week after missing a month with inflammation in his right biceps, which is bad enough. He underwent MRI surgery today, said the Mets, who wanted to win last night. The replacement for Jacob deGrom, Miguel is 4-2 in a 5.01 ERA. He started opening day pitching 5 scoreless innings against the Nationals. Making his second start since returning from injury, Miguel sailed through 3 shutout innings before Christian Yelich homered off for the Brewers, and that began the 4th inning. The Brewers loaded the bases with 1 out, and Miguel winced after his first pitch to Omar Narvaez. That's when I felt it more than I did before. And I was like, it's not worth it to keep throwing at this point. So looks like he's going to be in trouble for a while. And finally, more news on the OTA front as second-year Dallas Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy was fined for violating rules regarding off-season practices, according to owner and GM Jerry Jones. McCarthy was fined $100K, and the Cowboys were docked organized team activity for 2023 for holding practices that were considered to be too physical by the NFL organization, and was not fined until in 2021. Well, wait, there's more. A year ago, McCarthy was fined $50,000 and the Cowboys $100,000 and had an OTA taken away for the same reason. The Cowboys were one of 3 teams to be fined last year and have an OTA taken away for practice violations. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan was fined $50,000 and the team $100,000, while Jaguars were fined $200,000 and former coach Urban Meyer was fined $100,000. McCarthy cut the Cowboys' practices from 3 to 1 this week, but had nothing to do with the penalty. The Cowboys held a team building meeting event at Top Golf on Wednesday, and the veterans were excused from work while the rookies met with the coaches for their final weightlifting session. All right, that's pretty much all I got, so I'll turn it back over to you.
All right. So, again, Tarek Skubal, another rough outing. again, the Rangers beat the Tigers 7-0. Tarek Skubal's final line, I forgot to mention, 5 earned runs on 8 hits in 5 innings pitched, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He still has a 3.13 ERA. Yeah, Skubal now drops to 5-4. He better get it back together. Just needs to try not to do too much. Tarek Skubal, I still think he's good. Bo Brisky pitched another dandy last night. So Skubal and Brisky may have 2 aces in the Tigers rotation. So with that being said, 4:10, Riley Green making his MLB debut. Ronnie Garcia on the mound against Taylor Hearn tomorrow at 4:10. Tigers and Rangers, Game 3 of the 4-game set. And then on Sunday, Drew Hutchinson takes the mound against Dunning. Come on, what's his first name? Dane Dunning. 1-4, 4.04 ERA, 130 WHIP. So, with all that being said, this has been the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, Tigers post-game edition with yours truly, Taylor Phillips and Louis Tenor for June 17th, 2022. Follow the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and like it on Facebook and subscribe to its YouTube channel. Business shoutouts go to Cali Tickets. Call Mark Goldman at 877-225-8425 or visit CaliTickets.com. Northern Star Event Rentals in Cadillac. Call Heather Krzyzewski at 231-884-8195 or like their Facebook page. They provide bounce houses, water slides, obstacle courses, large tents, and small tents. Now they are taking bookings for the season, and creative embroidery at Cadillac for designing my logo on my long sleeve shirt. So for Louis Tenor, I'm Taylor Phillips. We'll see you tomorrow night at about 10-ish p.m. or 10:30 probably.
All right.
TT Fan Tata for now. Power to the people. For the deflectors out there, they can piss off.
Good night, folks.